If you've been following the chaos going on in Iran right now, you know the Islamic regime is ramping up its barbaric tactics to crush the brave Iranians fighting for their freedom. At the center of this outrage is a 26-year-old young man named Irfan Sultani, a regular worker in the clothing business, who was slapped with a death sentence just for joining protests against the Ayatollah's tyranny. But his sentencing didn't surprise me at all, because this is exactly what happens when radical Islamic theocracies run amok, unchecked. Look, Elfan Sultani isn't some terrorist or criminal mastermind, okay? He is just a 26-year-old shop owner from Fardis, near Tehran, who got nabbed at his home on January 8, 2026, for daring to protest the regime's corruption, economic collapse, and iron-fisted rule. Within days, yeah, you heard that right, days, he was railroaded through a sham trial, convicted of waging war against God. That is their bogus charge for basically anything they don't like, and scheduled to hang on January 14th.
Irfan Sultani's family say he's scheduled to be executed by the authorities in Iran sometime tomorrow. He's 26, and the decision is apparently final. There's no appeal. We don't know the charges, but if the death sentence is carried out, it's believed it may be the first following Iran's brutal crackdown on anti-government dissent after more than 2 weeks of nationwide street protests. Human rights organizations are warning his case could signal the start of mass executions targeting demonstrators.
Today marks the beginning of a terrifying new phase in Iran. Under the cover of a 6-day internet blackout, the regime has officially started expedited mass executions. First victim, he's only 26 years old, and now he's getting hanged for protesting for his freedom. The official charge says he was waging war against God. His family was informed by phone that he would be sentenced to death. They begged for a chance to say goodbye. They were given 10 minutes, and after the meeting, they were told it would be their last. The world almost did not find out about this. Iran's internet shutdown is now entering its 6th day. State media says it could last 2 more weeks. And the regime isn't just silencing protest, they are hiding what comes next. Because behind that blackout, executions are beginning, and Irfan will not be the last. Here's what we know about Irfan's case.
This young person is from the city of Karaj, around 40 kilometers or so from Tehran. He was apparently arrested at home, taken out from his home by unidentified, government officials. There are multiple parallel security and intelligence organizations in Iran. They often do not necessarily identify themselves when they go to arrest people. He has been out of touch with his family, and he hasn't had access to a lawyer. The family were informed apparently a few days after arrest, and they have been able to see him only for 10 minutes. And they already have told the family that he's been sentenced to death on charges of fighting God, Muharabe, as it's called in Persian Arabic word coming from Sharia law, and it's the charge which always carries a death penalty in Iranian legal system. In recent days, prosecutor of the city of Tehran has announced that the government has appointed what they described as courageous and experienced judges to go through the cases of people arrested in the demonstrations quickly and with what they call revolutionary determination. So that sounds, summary trials and, kind of a lot of death sentences being issued in the incoming days.
According to Iran Wire, which spoke to a lawyer inside the country, and it's important to clarify here, this lawyer is not a lawyer who's representing Irfan, because Irfan has been denied access to legal counsel. In fact, there was no court hearing either, no charges, nothing resembling justice. He was arrested and then given a death sentence. His family was warned, if they speak to any media, other family members will be arrested too. They have been silenced through terror. And this is the template for what's coming. Because Irfan isn't alone. A few days ago, reports confirmed that Iran has arrested at least 2,300 people from these protests. That number is most definitely higher now. We cannot confirm this because of the blackout, but let me explain my reasoning. Few days ago, when we learned about the initial number, we also learned that around 2,000 people had been killed in the protest. Well, now we know that number of people killed has gone up from 2,000 to 12,000, and CBS reported yesterday that that number could be as high as 20,000. So we can safely assume that by now they have arrested a lot more than 2,300 people. Now, here's what makes this even more terrifying. If they are willing to execute someone in 5 days, imagine what they are doing to thousands of others in custody. Iran already executes more people per capita than almost any other country in the world. Before these protests, they were killing around 1,000 people per year, roughly 3 people every single day. And now that number is about to explode. Well, just yesterday, President Trump was asked about these executions, and this was his response. Take a listen.
Hearing that they're going to start hanging protesters tomorrow, so it comes back to the question, have they crossed your red line, or has the line moved?
I haven't heard about the hanging. If they hang them, you're going to see some things that I don't know what where you come from and what your thought process is, but you'll perhaps be very happy.
What do you mean by that?
We will take very strong action. If they do such a thing, we will take very strong action.
And this strong action you're talking about, what's the end game?
The end game is to win. I like winning.
How do you define that in Iran?
Well, let's define it in Venezuela. Let's define it with al-Baghdadi. He was wiped out. Let's define it with Soleimani. And let's define it in Iran, where he wiped out their Iran nuclear threat in a period of about 15 minutes once the B-2s got there. And that was a complete obliteration, as it turns out, which is what I said initially. Then some questioned it, and they said, Trump was right. So we've been right about everything. We don't want to see what's happening in Iran happen. And, if they want to have protests, that's one thing. When they start killing thousands of people, and now you're telling me about hanging, we'll see how that works out for them. It's not going to work out good.
This is the Islamic Republic's idea of justice. Arrest, convict, and execute, all in under a week. No real defense, no fair process, just a noose waiting for anybody who dares to speak out. Irfan Sultani is no radical. His family says he wasn't even a hardcore activist. He was just fed up with the mullah's mismanagement that has left millions of Iranians starving, while the regime funnels billions to terrorists like Hamas and Hezbollah. But in Iran, exercising your God-given right to free speech gets you labeled an enemy of the state. This is the same regime that slaughtered up to 12,000 protesters in recent weeks alone, turning streets into killing fields and imposing internet blackouts to hide their atrocities. But you have to understand something, guys. Public executions are nothing new in Iran under the Ayatollahs, but now they are accelerating them to terrorize the population into submission. It is straight up evil, guys. Barbaric hangings in public squares to break the spirit of people yearning for liberty. We all need to understand that the Iranian people are not the enemy here. They are victims of a fanatical theocracy that twists religion into a tool of control. Irfan Sultani represents every freedom-loving soul in Iran. Young, hardworking, just wanting a shot at a better life without the boot of Sharia law on their necks. Yes, they have postponed his execution because the world has made Irfan Sultani famous, and all eyes are on him now, whether he lives or dies. And now the Islamic regime is scared. That is why they postponed his execution. But postponing one execution is not enough. The whole Islamic regime needs to go. The case of Irfan Sultani is a wake-up call that public executions in Iran are not just beginning. They are the desperate gasp of a dying tyranny. This young man faced the gallows for nothing more than demanding his basic rights. And while his hanging was delayed, thousands more are at risk from this murderous regime. Guys, I am totally enraged at what is happening in Iran right now, but I sincerely hope that help gets to them in time. As always, guys, these are my thoughts and my opinions. Please feel free to share yours in the comment section below, but do so respectfully. Also, if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, honestly, I don't know what you're waiting for. Subscribe to the channel. Like and share this video to keep people informed, and consider joining my membership or supporting the channel in any way that you can. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to catch you on the next one. For now, peace.